Hello friends, welcome back for Bitcoin Technical Analysis. I'm Rocky Outcrop. I really appreciate you joining me here today. I'm going to try and present a balanced opinion as ever, unlike my sunburn, which is definitely disproportionately on the right hand side of my body at the moment. And speaking of which, I'm going to go out and work on my sunburn quite soon as well, instead of working on my suntan. So I'm going to make these videos fairly quick. You got to get the sunshine when it's available in Scotland after all, or else you shrivel up and die. So thank you for joining me. Thank you so much for hitting subscribe. I can't believe it. We're at 707 members of the Rocky Outcrop family. That's all thanks to you. So thank you so much. That's brilliant. Let's keep that ball rolling. I've got show notes up behind me to make the process easier for us today. And I have the window open as it happens. So if you hear funny noises, that's what that is. Okay, so first off, before we get started though, just like I say in all the episodes, I try and present a balanced view so that you can make your own independent trading decisions. And the skill is a really valuable one to have as a trader, being able to rely on oneself. So I just want to reiterate that again. While it would be easy enough for me to say one way or the other, as I have done a few times in the past, let's be fair, I have done it. I do try to avoid it because the most important thing as a trader is the knowledge that you can rely on yourself and iteratively improve on that. Okay, so as you can see on the show notes, there's a few lines there. Is it okay to be bullish? Is it okay to be skeptical? Is it okay to be bearish? You know, those things, in fact, they're all okay. And there's reasons for all of them at the moment. And we'll just go through them real quick. First off, though, the monthly question. The CMEs have closed for the weekend. It is the weekend now, of course, Saturday, but the spot markets are still open. So what will spot do? That is the monthly question. Also, by the way, you might be wondering, looking at behind me there, you might have been curious to see if we'd broken out of this triangle on my charts, you know, with the price action yesterday and whatnot. No, we haven't. Overall, we've only done what we thought really would happen so far. That's all that's happened, you know. Since the prices were down here, we've come up to here. That's essentially what we spoke about at the time. Like I say as well, I don't give you a bias on the market in general, and I don't fill you up with hopium or depression or anything else, but that was a patently obvious move to make up here for a solid 10% price action move, you know, and we spoke about all this. It was, we said when this was an Adam and Eve, that 65% of the time it doesn't happen. You know, I am literally spelling it out for you. The only thing I don't say is exact sort of entries and exits, you know, really. But I'm going to try as hard as I can to always avoid doing stuff. Even that was, you know, too much. In fact, last week when I was sick, or, you know, in and around this period here, the 19th of April, I says, yeah, the easiest move to do, just because I wasn't thinking straight, the easiest move, you know, would just be to short it from here and take profit down here. That's the most obvious trade out there. That's what it is to be a professional trader, to be able to see these things and act on them. And so really, realistically, you know, you're looking at a solid 12% move there. You don't have to take the full 12%. You could do it easy. You know, you could just be easy on yourself and go for like 8 or 9. And then again here, another solid 10 or 11%. You don't need the full thing. You could go for 7, you know. So I feel like, you know, that my obligation towards everybody has been absolutely fulfilled. Having said that, there is a YouTube question here. Oh dear. Again. There is a YouTube question which I'll get back to at the end of the video. In fact, I should probably load that up, whatever. Anyway, which is to do with, you know, that sort of concept right there. I think really kind of, in a way, at least that's what it reads like to me. Overall, what are we looking at? So what will the spot prices do? Let's just jump up to the monthly chart and, you know, get some of my old show notes out of the way here. In fact, get everything off the screen. You can see right now on the monthly chart there that the prices are, higher than the previous two candles over here. This is looking fairly healthy. Big question marks as to whether or not it will end up here on Sunday, though. So, if it does that, then as you can tell, looking at the 24-hour chart, then you'd be challenging at the top end of the resistance, various other factors, and we'd be above the downward sloping monthly, using the body's monthly downward sloping trend line. So there's a couple of things to be aware of there, and that would all be good. Just a quick reminder then to temper that feeling. Here's the CMEs, the people that work, in a lot with the CMEs for doing their professional trading, there wasn't enough enthusiasm in that market to actually push it up. We've got a sort of equal high of the green candle here. Then the subsequent month opened and it gapped up and it opened up there at 9,500 and dropped down again. So, it's a lower high than the open of the red candle in February, and it's an equal high to the close of the January candle, and that's where we're at the minute. That's not as clear cut as what you'd have liked to have seen. You'd have liked to have seen it just being, to be perfectly honest with you, just an extra $50 to $60 to $100 higher would have been enough, to be positive about, and it wasn't able to do it. Is that a negative thing in itself? No, it's not. We're above the 21 monthly moving average, it's only just really appeared on the charts. Going down to the weekly, we're above the 21 weekly moving average, which is crossed above the 55. That tends to be a fairly bullish thing. It doesn't happen all the time. As you can see here, it's only had 2 crosses, really. But we're yet to sort of, that this early days yet in terms of this as a trend indicator. On the 2 days, we're above the 21 EMA, and all of the moving averages are starting to fan out in the appropriate formation and looking fairly good. And on the 24-hour time frame, well, we do have the possibility of a golden cross coming in here and around where, potentially we could see a resolution on our triangles in the sort of, say, it's hard to guess, obviously, but you could be looking at around 8th to 14th of June, I suppose, depending on the price action. It's quite clear though that we've got either symmetrical triangle. I'm kind of leaning on the symmetrical side since it's equal, in terms of my own opinion. However, I'm talking mostly about the descending triangle to temper the FOMO that's out there in the world. FOMO is the question we'll be getting back to at the very end of the video. So I want to temper that, and that's why I'm talking about, descending triangle mostly, because the FOMO that's out there, even amongst traders that I really respect, is somewhat irrational. So, just looking here as well, I'm not going to call this, which is higher than this over here, hidden bullish divergence necessarily myself. Shout out to Crown, by the way. He's probably my most, one of the people I respect most on in the professional trading world. Absolutely, he's a bit mad, but if you watch his videos, fair enough well. In fact, I use his moving average indicator on here. Anyway, shout out to him for having pointed out that that there was this hidden bullish divergence, so to speak, in here on the 24-hour time frame and on spot. Although, again, I don't like talking about too much when we're not really trending in that direction, to say so. But if we go on up and keep going and everything else, then hey, maybe this is the start of that. Maybe this is an upward trend, but we'd need to see the prices come up those 9,900, 10,000 areas, and anyway, whatever, I'm sure you'd agree. It's just something to be aware of, because, the price action only came down so far when the effort put in by the bears was, greater than it had been previously. Fair enough, absolutely something that's worth sharing with everybody. And because I couldn't sleep last night and whatever else, I've just put his video on this morning just to give me some sort of, just to ground myself a little bit. And so I'm saying that as well as it happens. Now, so anyway, back over to the chat. So the chat is right. Where is my chat? Oh God, that's yesterday's. Oh gosh, where are we? Here we are, right. So, the weekly question, will it be a weekly engulfing candle? Well, okay, so let's just go over to the CMEs and look at the weekly chart, and just to give us that context. As you can see quite clearly here that we're still in the midst of all this sort of shenanigans. Okie dokie. go to the spot price, you can see that we're lower as well on the weekly chart. Just a quick reminder here on the CMEs, lower on the weekly as well. So will we be closing lower on the weekly, or indeed if the prices do move up to the next level up at 9,700, 9,800 or so, then perhaps we'd have a weekly bullish engulfing candle on our hands. As you can see, the volatility over the last 3 weeks, this is the same old story that we've been going on for, the weekly chart makes that quite clear when you're looking at these three, the three sort of towers here, the three twin towers, the triplet towers, we'll call them. Okie dokie. And then the 2-day makes a little bit of the whole consolidation aspect of things a little bit clearer and easier to see. There's another couple of things that you could talk about, with the positioning of this and when it could get resolved. Could be a little bit, I might have this a little bit tight on here in terms of the time left on here. So yeah, and look at that volume candle. Just a quick reminder to people, the sort of volume that you need to see for a breakout came in here, and it didn't have a breakout. It actually just prevented it from happening. So in a sense, as the monthly candles were closing on the CMEs, I think this is like an indecision volume type thing, not an indecision, but an uncertainty one that's come in there in my mind. But could that be stopping volume or starting volume? Could it be, it's not as big as these horrendous volume candles over here, but if you just look back in time, it's certainly bigger. It's like there's a couple of big candles in here, but that candle there was bigger than anything that there has been since June over here, whenever there was this volatility. So the question still remains, will we see something similar as to what we've seen in the past when the enthusiasm, the FOMO kicked in like no man's business. It was crazy over here, the FOMO. And then, the end result was liquidations for people. Likewise again, FOMO like crazy and resulting in liquidations again. Likewise here, FOMO like crazy, resulting in liquidations again. Overall, doesn't really matter too much what you think, right? Doesn't really matter too much, we'll have to wait for confirmation. Overall is the best option, probably. I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice, by the way. So is it okay to be bullish? Well, yes, it is. You've got things like what Eric Crown was talking about, for instance, and you've got various things like we're just here challenging our resistance line, this horizontal line right here, where you could potentially look to see if there would be, a fake out or a breakout from this thing, and our potential other highs. If we did break out of this formation at the minute, even just faking out, but did it over the period of Sunday and Monday. I apologize for speaking quickly, by the way, but I'm eager to get back to the sunshine. I looked at one of my own videos recently, and I speak clearly enough for the subtitles to work thoroughly well. So, there's another option, as well as slowing things down. Anyway, that's our previous high here at 7,800 or 9,800 or so, whatever you want to talk about it like that. Could we be challenging that and having a weekly engulfing candle and be bullish on that sense and be breaking out of this structure and have, a close on the monthly, which is high. Oh, no way. I'm not going to close, which is higher on the monthly, etc. Working down the way like that. Could we see all of that happen? Could it be good? We've got these three advancing white soldiers here on the 2-day time frame. That's a positive thing in terms of the candles, just looking purely at the candles. Could that all come together and be a good thing? Sure. One other positive aspect as well is this potential breakout on Ethereum from this ascending triangle. Potentially, maybe is that leading the market, or indeed will the Bitcoin prices sink back down and this ultimately turn into some sort of fake out or some other sort of consideration for us to have there. It is something we spoke about recently, though, in terms of giving us a little bit of extra insight by looking at what the industry as a whole is doing. Okay, I've been going on for 13 minutes now. I do actually want to wrap this thing up, so let's just see if I get the drawings back on. Is it okay to be skeptical about this? Well, I think it is, I think it is, really, relatively speaking. I mean, let's bear in mind the overall shape of this and the potential for it to be kind of operating along these sorts of lines here, or indeed just, whatever, maybe something like that, where you could just say, look, the Rockies triangle's too tight. It is a symmetrical triangle, but there's plenty of time left in it. No need to get ahead of yourself. Could just play on with this again and again and again. There could be another 10% move to the downside and another 10% move to the upside. making people 100% increase their value of their accounts if they're trading with leverage. You know, not financial advisor, not financial advice, just saying. And all that sort of jazz. Could that happen? Indeed, it could. So, you know, there's all that to be taken into account. And is it okay to be bearish? Well, certainly it is still okay to be bearish, you know, even if you're just looking for this move down here, in the same way that we said it was okay to be bullish when the prices were down there at 8,800, 8,700, and saying, look, you know, the bullish aspect could take us up to here. Same thing, you know, you could be bearish here short term for a bullish longer term outlook if that's what you want. That could all be a part of the same story as well. But is it also maybe best to wait and see what happens? Almost certainly, usually that's the case. I tend to recommend people to ignore all of the FOMO chat that goes around breakouts. Like, you know, for instance, Carl the Moon exclusively has that sort of FOMO breakout mentality, and he doesn't talk about the real aspects of what it's like to actually be a trader. Massive respect for everybody in the community. No, not saying anything negative about anybody, just be very clear here. But there's just the terms of the conversation with the viewer and what people want to see isn't actually from the point of view of a trader. It's from the point of view of someone who's, you know, just talking about stuff. And yeah, the breakout stuff, that's all great, you know, all great. Bear in mind that breakouts from symmetrical triangles and all the rest of it are really just the range that you're trading within it. And there's plenty of opportunity to be had anyway, looking at simple targets in between. We're giving yourself very easy to manage risk targets. For instance, and again, not financial advice, but this 9,500, 9,600 area offers up a clear, easy to manage risk aspect to trading in this area if you were going short, or indeed if you're going long with this one just in around here. You know, you can manage your risk, have an easy stop loss on there, and not feel like you've missed out in any way. So, and then let's go to the YouTube question. I'll probably have to edit this so it doesn't, like, you know, destroy the flow of things, but let's see, maybe I'll get there quick enough so that it's all gravy in the end. Just go comments here, comments. Will it work? So often doesn't. This is one of the difficult. Oh, here we go. Now seems pretty bullish to me, says Sofietta. Hi, Sofietta. Shout out to Sofietta. Thanks so much for being a viewer. Thanks so much for leaving a comment. Massively appreciate it. Now, but I wanted to leave it till this video to respond. Now seems pretty bullish to me. I wanted to buy and I was waiting, but I think I lost the good price. Sad face. Now, that is exactly the mentality in the market in general when this type of consolidation is going on. And what you see is the FOMO building up and building up. Now, all apologies, Sophia, but what you're experiencing when you say, I wanted to buy and I was waiting, but I think I lost the good price, is I'm afraid that I have missed out. There's a word for that. It's called FOMO. And generally speaking, if you're a trader, then this mentality is going to get you caught out in the wrong side of things. Even if you get lucky or you get unlucky, it's essentially relying, it starts to get to a gambling type mentality eventually. You know, really, if you're a trader, you don't think about missing out. You'd only miss out if somehow, you know, if a new law came in saying we're banning trading, then you could have fear of missing out because you're not allowed to trade anymore. There's going to always be a tomorrow. And then after tomorrow, there'll be another tomorrow. You just have to stay in the game long enough. It doesn't matter if you're trading. Now, she doesn't say what mentality she has. If she's just an investor, then indeed, Sophia, I'm really sorry to say so, but you missed out on the low prices over here whenever we had when we were looking back, for instance, back here, saying there's a bullish Gartley on here. The prices were 3,795 to 4,000, and the prices have moved up more than 100% since. Yes, you've missed out. Okay, you've missed out. And it happened months ago. If you're talking about missing out in terms of just the other day on the 25th of May, 5 days ago for a 10% move, yeah, you've missed that. But are you trading or investing? And here from this up high, you've missed that. So anyway, let's just finish off and say, still could potentially end up being a descending broadening wedge. I doubt it. It's not, I doubt it, whatever. We're inside this channel, kind of the old historical thing. Looking up here, you can see the 9,686, where we have the previous high on the monthly candles. Oh God. Monthly candles look monthly, yeah, here, yeah, on C, whatever. You can see that was even the weekly that I was trying to look for, even in fact, yeah, the weekly there, so you can see the weekly highs and whatnot. So that's what we'd be looking for. Yeah, we're obviously, as you can see with this white line going down the way, that we're obviously above the monthly trend as I had it drawn in. I've clearly moved this and it doesn't fit on anymore. Or does it? Yeah, well, anyway, yeah, so you can see here just about, there's a candle in here and it's above this area, and that's kind of coming in at 8,500 if you're using the candles bodies, or what we call it, 8,000, 9,000 really. Pardon me, 9,000 really, more than 8,000. Whatever, we're above that area. This is just a general kind of indication. I wanted to say we've been down this road before again, and yes, it's totally okay to be bullish if you want to be, and it's okay to be bearish if you want to be. It's okay to be skeptical. It's okay to wait and see. The trading's on you. I think I've given out quite a bit of good information yet again in today's video, and thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate everybody who likes and subscribes. Massively appreciate it. You may have noticed I've changed the VPVR over here to be grey. Just to answer that question real quickly, if anybody's bothered, it's because I find the aspect of buys and sells on the VPVR to be almost completely useless. And, and to be honest as well, here's another shout out to Crown. You can, what he does is he has the volume kind of grayed out normally as well, because it just creates bias. That's all it does. So there you go. You can see here, that's probably, your least bias type look at these two things here. You don't need to have that bias. Right. Okay. Done now. Done. And 20 minutes. Well, wasn't a shorter video. Put a lot of information in again. Spoke quickly. I think, I said an awful lot, and maybe we won't do a video tomorrow, depending on how things go. I don't know. We'll tune in. I do the videos every day normally. And please do hit that like and subscribe button though, because I am looking forward to having weekends off at some point. I've been doing videos every single day, apart from I've missed one day because I had to go to a wedding, and one day because I almost died, actually. I was that sick. I had septic shock. I almost died. So I've missed 2 days out of 150 days or so far this year. So I'm looking forward to having weekends back again. This is the life of a 24/7 cryptocurrency trader though, and it's a good life. And I really want to say thank you to everybody for joining in. I mostly just do this. As you know, I'm not monetized on the channel. Get no real, other than the community aspect and the friends, which is one of the most important things to me in life. And it's one of the things that money can't buy. Yeah, I don't actually get anything out of doing this, but I really just want to help and to show you that you can keep a clean mind. Keep a clean mind when you're trading. Just wash it away. So I hope this has been a palate cleanser for you. You've not got any FOMO. And then if you decide to go long, or you decide to go short, you do what you do, it's totally fine. But you'll be doing it with your own decision, okay? Rather than because somebody out there in the world says, hey, you know what? We're going up to 11,000. Who cares? Go up to 11,000, who cares? Go to 8,000, who cares? I don't. Anyway, catch you later.